All right, been a long trial period. I've got some thoughts. 3 years ago, I switched to GrapheneOS to take a little better control of my digital life. All the digital noise coming in at me started as helping me understand tech's role in my life and my control over it. There are some things that at this point I can't live without in a mobile operating system, and some things that have been kind of troubling along the way. We'll talk about both. Now, the number one thing that GrapheneOS does for me is I know I'm in control of what this operating system is doing. Fantastic. Every toggle that I click, I can rest assured that it's doing what I'm asking of it. Another great thing is network permissions. Why is it that the click counter app that I want to use on my phone requires a network connection? On an iPhone or a regular Android, you don't get a say. When you install an application, it gets whatever permissions are set, and you get a couple toggles on the back end of it to switch a couple things up, but the network permission is I don't believe ever present. Being able to toggle the network permission off on an app that you don't necessarily trust, you don't want to see ads on it, you want to put it on pause, you don't want it to phone home. Turning off the network permission right out the gate is a great way to just isolate an app that you want to use the functionality of and not receive any advertisements or otherwise get plagued by the internet. You want to use it as a tool, you toggle this. Going down the line a little bit, the permissions in general, storage scopes, contact scopes, the ability to restrict any app that you choose from having access to every single one of your sensitive photos on your device, or contacts that, hey, maybe you don't want to rat your friends out. Maybe you don't want to allow these tech companies to create a network of you, your friends, and everyone you consort with. You've got very fine and granular control for every single application. You get to toggle anything off. You can break whatever you want. No one's going to hold your hand. It's fantastic. If I screwed up, that's my fault. This is my device. I should choose how it operates. Right out the gate, there is no bloat in this operating system whatsoever. It's pretty bare bones, and that's a good thing. You get to configure it however you like. If you don't need 16 meta apps and the Google suite, it's not there. You actually have to do some work. You actually have to be mindful of what it is that you're putting on your phone. And that's a very positive thing. And that leans right into there are no Google services required on GrapheneOS at all whatsoever. There's no App Store, there's no Google Files, Photos, Mail, anything like that. It is not pushed on you. It is not associated with GrapheneOS in any way, shape, or form. Now, if you want some of those apps, I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with having Google apps, okay? Like, at this point in time, we should know that they're an evil, evil company, and you should think about distancing yourself from them if you care. But if you don't, or if you have to use something for work and you want everything to be a little more compartmentalized, or if you want to have profiles set up, you got your personal GrapheneOS profile, and then on the same device, you can have a work profile. There's nothing stopping you from using it the way that you want to use it. The other feature I really like is lockdown mode. You just hold the lock button, and up comes an option. If you use biometrics like your fingerprint, just turn it right off. You get yourself into a hairy situation. Maybe you get pulled over, and you don't want the police to use your biometric information without a warrant. Well, you don't have to furnish your password. There you go, lockdown. Or an invasive housemate or family member, if you're some kind of battered spouse or otherwise, that is a fantastic feature to just really lock the phone down and keep even more prying eyes out of the way. And to that point, another honorable mention is there's evidence that even some of these Celebrite machines that authorities across the globe are using cannot crack into a GrapheneOS phone when configured properly. Right? And that's not to say that that's a feature that everyone needs, but it almost feels like it's becoming more common. There's plenty of drama. The guy that came across the border was a U.S. citizen, got stopped by immigration, used his duress password. That's a great feature too. We'll see where that case lands, but at some point, just having the tool is enough to give you peace of mind, enough to make you feel like you have some semblance of say in what's going on at any given point in time. and you get to make the decisions for or against. Switch it over to the other side, just to talk about the things that piss me off about the surroundings of GrapheneOS. That the operating system works, all your favorite apps work, not all. Some banking apps, Google Pay may not work, but you don't undertake this without knowing that there's going to be a couple trade-offs. And when I say surroundings, I'm talking about people. Sometimes this community, privacy and security folks, are abrasive, very abrasive. And you all know who you are. I'm not going to share the screenshots or the messages, the personal messages, or some of the insider bullshit that I ran down. I'm just going to say that there's some gatekeeping motherfuckers in these communities. And it was a problem for me. In one season of my GrapheneOS journey was just plagued by feeling like I couldn't do this right. There was no methodology that I could use to achieve the privacy goal or the security goal. Do I feel like I'm in control? No, it's not the right app. It's not the right method. You shouldn't use Google Play services, or you should only use Google Play services, or this app store is good, or you shouldn't use these types of, it's everywhere. Everyone's got their favorite. And it's a tribalist thing. Not to mention the drama surrounding some of the developers of some projects, GrapheneOS, Calyx, and who's dropping who, and it's almost like a religious experience for a lot of people. And if you're not careful, you can kind of get sucked into this way of thinking. If you're not on so and so's side, or if you're not using this tool, then you couldn't possibly be serious about your privacy, or you're a fool. You get name called, all kinds of things, banned, blocked. You got people throwing shit like chimpanzees at each other. And all that aside, what this can end up doing is make you feel like you're not doing enough. If this really matters to you, if your privacy matters to you, if you're in a dangerous situation, or a dangerous household, or you are being persecuted by someone. I mean, these types of situations exist. Journalists, battered housewives, battered house husbands. There are all kinds of reasons why you would want to take control of your privacy and have a little more security digitally, right? It's the same reason you buy a gun and keep it in your house. But a lot of the community is going to push fear, uncertainty, doubt your way all the time. And you've got content farms. Maybe it's a little bit harsh to call them content farms. People who this is their job. They make YouTube content about privacy and security, and they're doing the news, and you're subscribing to the news because you're like, oh, this is an exciting new hobby for me, or this is an exciting new avenue. But the same way that CNN revolutionized 24-hour news, some things aren't news. And you don't need to be up in arms about every single thing that happens. It's good to keep up. It's good to be educated on the subject, and that's fine. But those people are trying to make money, right? Someone's selling you a product or a service, and there's a lot of times good tips mixed in. But it's very easy to get washed over with that fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And in my GrapheneOS experience, about the second year, I found myself not with the peace that I hoped to achieve by installing the operating system and working on privacy and gutting out some unnecessary items in life. I found turbulence instead of peace. I found uneasiness instead of peace. Light paranoia. I felt isolated. I wasn't being creative because I wasn't allowed to use certain tools. I wasn't making music because certain configurations weren't going to work with it, and I added barriers to my real life, the real life that I was trying to protect by using tools like these. I was no longer living it because I was too busy trying to protect it. And that's not GrapheneOS's fault. That's a symptom of course correction. If you overcorrect your steering wheel in your car on a mountain road, you might end up in the ditch instead of in the side of the rock. It's the same way your crazy uncle started following QAnon and running down into rallies and doing all kinds of crazy shit. Or your blue-haired cousin starts shouting you down at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Where'd my loved one go? They've subscribed to this ideology. It's consumed everything. Everything that they see in the world is measured with this one stick. Soon I realized, hey, this maybe isn't so healthy for me. Maybe I'm not getting the joy back in my life that maybe I initially had. with using an ad blocker or some of these other tools. GrapheneOS is a fantastic tool. I'm going to continue using it, but in a modified way, in a way that suits my needs. Everything in life should get out of your way and help you to achieve what it is that you want to do. So in the same way, if I decide that I want to install Google Play services on my device, if I want to install Facebook to sell on Marketplace, God forbid, then if that's what's really going to suit me at this point in time, then I'll probably find a safer way to do so. Or sometimes go without. There's nothing wrong with taking a nuanced look at all of these tools, all of these methods, and your actual own risk factors in your life. What is necessary for you? This is a fun hobby. It's really cool just flipping the bird to Meta, Google, Amazon, Apple. It's fun. But the trick is balance. Do I think that you should use GrapheneOS? Yeah, I think you should try it if you have the means to. It's not going to hurt. I think you should try Linux too. I think you should be asking questions. Why does the government want so much of my information? Why are the flock cameras taking pictures of my car? Why did the police know everywhere I've been? I went to the donut shop, to the doctor, to work, and then I went to Dave and Buster's. None of their business. You know that Google makes somewhere in the realm of $1,500 a year on you and your information? Ask why. Ask what could be done. What's the alternative? It's worth your time. My key takeaway is this is how an operating system should be. You should be in the driver's seat. You should get to tell it what it can and cannot do. There should be transparency on every single update that comes out for it. As GrapheneOS's documentation is that's fantastic. Every single little change, getting an update every week with information on what's in it is how it should be. Being able to tell individual apps, no, you can't have this information. If these were real people coming into your life, you wouldn't give them a quarter of this information. If I came into your house and asked you, hey, can I look through your scrapbook? Is that cool? Let me see what you got. You got one of the naughty scrapbooks up there in the closet. Let me see one of those. Oh no, I'm not gonna do anything with it. Don't worry about that. Don't be weird. You're making it weird. Or let me sift through your phone book. What do you think? You got any friends that maybe I want to talk to? Don't worry about why. How many friends? Are you a friendly person? Do I want to be friends with you? Be like if I was peeking over your fence every day. Just seeing what you're doing, man. Oh, why are you being so defensive? I can't look. I can't look. What are you doing over there? You trying to hide something? Very excited for the future of graphene and hopefully even competition to graphene. Right? I know that Calyx is back on the market, and people wanted to have a big old faff about whether or not you should use them because they drop support, and again with the drama. But I want to see more competition. I want to see people taking control and doing something about the problem instead of just living with it and accepting. I'm excited for the OEM Motorola GrapheneOS release coming out next year. I'm really curious to see what it's like. I mean, when was the last time that we got an operating system other than Android and iOS, some skin of Android or iOS from a manufacturer that you can order, not have to set anything up? That's huge. That's awesome. And I think that drives home the point how much people do care about this kind of thing. And that makes me hopeful personally. So try out different stuff. Try GrapheneOS, Sailfish, any of these. Do your own research. Do what fits you. Don't let people bully you into picking one thing or another. If you're happy on iPhone, then great. I don't know why you're watching this video, but the important thing is you have options. And if you're interested in the options, you should exercise your right to use them before someone litigates it out of possibility, before someone legislates that possibility away and makes it impossible. So here's to another 3 years of GrapheneOS. I've found a balance here, and that's okay if it changes over time. As always, you are not the product. You are not the consumer. You are the deciding factor in your own life. Until next time.